Hello and welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video we are going to, specifically we're going to be talking about Harry Kane, and even more specifically than that, we are going to be talking about the accomplishment that he got at the weekend. So Harry Kane has entered a very exclusive club with his goal against Manchester City, and this exclusive club that he has just entered is that he's only the third player in Premier League history to enter the 200 goal club, so scoring 200 goals in the Premier League in his career. So very exclusive club. There's only 3 of them actually in it, and he joins other greats like Wayne Rooney and Alan Shearer in that club as well. Those are the only other 2 players in that club. So very, very good company for Harry Kane in that club. And really, this has kind of also posed quite a few questions. I've seen videos about this put on the Premier League's channel on YouTube about where he ranks and things like that. People are starting to rank him, which for me, I don't really get this. Why can't you just enjoy his accomplishment? You know, he's got 200 goals, only the third player in Premier League history to do so. I don't get why people have to come out and just start trying to rank everyone. That is quite irritating. Obviously, you want to rank players. You want to rank the best players, see who everyone thinks the best is. That's fine. It's just, I just don't want this to actually overshadow his accomplishment, because staying in the Premier League and staying that consistent to score 200 goals is a very impressive thing. No matter what you think of him, if the only other players to do what you've done are Wayne Rooney and Alan Shearer, then you're in very, very good company, and you must be a very, very good player, because that is not easy. 200 goals in the Premier League. That is very, very impressive. So, alongside all of this, Kane is also, just to hammer home really how good of an accomplishment this is, Harry Kane is also the only active player in the top 10 for goal scoring in the Premier League. So all of the top 10 out of all the top 10 players, Kane is the only one who is still playing in the Premier League. So, obviously he's been playing for quite a long time in the Premier League, but still, to be the only active player in the top 10, that's another quite impressive thing. So the nearest active player to him is Jamie Vardy, and Vardy is down all the way in 14th place with 134 goals, which, to be honest, in of itself is impressive, because let's be honest, Vardy came into the Premier League pretty late, and really Vardy, I think he was in his mid to late 20s when Leicester came to the Premier League. So to do that as well in the short amount of time he's had is quite impressive. But yeah, I think that just shows really Harry Kane is third, and then the next active player is all the way down in 14th. I mean, there's a lot of great players on that list as well that Harry Kane is ahead of. But there are quite a few questions being asked really now. Obviously, he's entered this club, he's made the headlines. So really, I think the main 2 questions that I've heard that are being asked is, number 1, will he break Alan Shearer's record of 260 goals? He's got 61 more goals to get. I think, depending on how many he gets this season, if he can get another 10 goals this season, yes, but if he stays in the Premier League for the rest of his career, he will 100% break that record, because he will have at least another couple of seasons really at this level, easily. He'll have another couple of seasons at this level. He's got 17 goals in 22 matches. He's only 29, so really he's probably got another 3 years at this level, especially if he stays in the Premier League. So that's 60 goals in 3 seasons. 60 goals in around about 3.5 seasons. He'll get that easily if he stays in the Premier League. If he stays in the Premier League, I think he'll push 300 goals, to be honest. I mean, if he has the next 3 seasons scoring 20 plus goals, he could really be pushing for 300. But that's another conversation for another time. So I think also depending on if he stays in the Premier League, obviously, because he has been rumoured to move away to other clubs as well. I think he could probably end up breaking this record after this, the 2 seasons after this. So not next season, probably the season after. He'll probably break it towards the end of the season or something. So really, with Kane breaking Shearer's record of 260 goals in a Premier League career, it just depends on whether he stays in the Premier League, because he's only 29, and if he stays in the Premier League, he's got, probably another 4, 5, 6 years, and he's going to get a lot more than 10 goals a season, especially in the next 3 seasons. He might even keep this up for another 4 or 5 seasons, this type of goal scoring, which then I think he will definitely hit 300. But yeah, so really this first question really depends on like what happens with Kane. Does he stay in the Premier League? Not necessarily does he stay at Tottenham, because he could go to another Premier League club. But yeah, so I do think he will end up breaking Alan Shearer's record. And then the second question is, where does he rank all time in Premier League strikers? And this one for me is a lot more interesting, because really it goes off your preference, and a lot of people are kind of putting him near the number 1 spot because of his goal scoring record. But me personally, I wouldn't really rate him that highly. There are a few Premier League strikers that I would put above him, and some of those would be Alan Shearer, Wayne Rooney, Sergio Aguero, Thierry Henry, and Robin van Persie. So those are 5 strikers that I can think of that I would put over Harry Kane. Obviously, with time, that could change. And if I'm being honest, quite a few people probably aren't going to agree with some of the strikers that I just named. And some people are going to say, oh, Rooney wasn't a striker throughout his whole career. But Rooney's main position was a striker, especially when he was in his prime. So really, I wouldn't have Harry Kane top 5 all-time in Premier League strikers. Obviously, he's only 29, that could change. But right now, I think people putting him close to number 1 is just the whole recency bias thing. And really, I just don't think he's that good. Like, he's not a terrible striker. He's a very good top striker. I just don't think he's as good as people are saying he is. Like, he's definitely top 10 all time. But I really, really personally do think it's pushing it to put him top 5 all time, because he's also, I think it's the fact that he's English and he's playing in the Premier League, an English league. I think people want to put him as highly as possible. So really, those are my thoughts on really Harry Kane, him breaking, well, not breaking a record, but him joining the 200 club, and those 2 questions that I've really seen floating about. Because I do think it's interesting to ask them, but I don't think we should be debating them as much, because his accomplishments should really be what's making the headlines right now. His accomplishments should be what people are talking about, not where does he rank among Premier League strikers. The first question about him breaking Shearer's record, I don't mind that, because that's not really ranking him among other strikers. That's asking, can he go on and actually break the record, which I don't mind. It's more of the second question that I don't really like being asked yet. I think that should be reserved for when he's retired. Where does he rank all time? Because obviously that can change as well. That can change. Like, you might not have him top 5 right now, but when he's done playing, when his legacy is cemented and he's retired, you might have him top 10 all time. All these rankings change because people go through their careers, and some people end up accomplishing things that you never thought they would. So really, that question I think is a bit unnecessary right now, and I just don't really agree with it. But I know it's a bit hypocritical that I've just said, but I haven't really ranked him. I've just picked 5 strikers that I would choose over him right now. But yeah, those are my thoughts on all of that. Put your thoughts in the comments down below. If you want to rank Harry Kane right now, let me know where you rank him in Premier League strikers all time. And do you think he'll break Alan Shearer's goal scoring record? Put all that down in the comments. If you like the video, or if you agree with what I've said, leave the video a like. That'll be a massive help. Subscribe if you want more videos like this. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.